Andy, Jamie, what's up?
Hi, Scott. Thank you. Hello, Jamie. How are you, buddy?
Hey Andy, how's it going over there? Happy Thursday to everybody. Thanks for showing up.
Oh, yes, yes. Happy Thursday to everybody. Thank you for taking time to joining us today. Let's dive in. But before we do, let me clear my throat and sorry about that. All right, guys. You are in the trading studio. My name is Andy, and I'm joined with Jamie today. And yes, Darren, we'll be showing you some trade ideas tools today. Thank you for joining us. And once again, let's get started. First, let's go over the disclaimer. We are a publisher. This is content publishers, and this is for educational purposes only. Jamie and I will be looking at some pretty neat setups and maybe talking about which direction a stock may go and things like that, but nothing should be construed as investment advice. Okay, if that's what you're looking for, you want to seek out a broker or an RIA, somebody who's licensed in that capacity and can provide that information for you. All right. Before we get started, let's also talk about our 5-star support, education, and training. I know how a lot of people, because I'm sometimes this way with software, you just want to just get it and just start using it, and you can in some capacity with this software. It's very intuitive, but it's also very powerful and can do a lot of things. And to utilize all of its tools and features, it's going to take some time. We're here to provide, that training and education so you can learn how to use that. And please take advantage of all the resources that we have. Okay, I notice a lot of people will just come in and go straight to the trading room, and next thing to know, they a little bit confused. So take advantage of the trading room because Barry's great in there with helping people. He always says, "Hey, send them my way." A lot of people think that they don't want to bother Barry because he is a trader, but really after about the first couple of hours, he is open to helping you, and he can show you in there on the software using the desktop sharing ability. So that's a great resource. And we also have webinars. These are interactive webinars. We encourage questions. And be sure to ask your questions. We may have content that we want to present, but we're always open afterwards for questions, and we'll do that today as well. We have these webinars every day, Monday through Thursday at the 5 Eastern time slot. You can see them there on the left side. It's usually myself, Jamie, or Steve Gomez, but on Wednesdays, you have our CEO, Dan Merkin, and our CTO, Brad Williams. It's a great place to go for Q&A and to see new features coming around the corner. And if that's not enough, we have Friday support sessions every Friday at 11 Eastern time. Okay, this is a straight up Q&A. We just open up a forum and you guys come in and ask questions and we answer them, and we'll demonstrate anything on using the desktop sharing once again to show you how to do it. So there's plenty of resources, guys. So, and that's not all. Click over to the next slide, you're going to see we have TI University. This is Monday through Thursday, starts as graduating class. You start at 101 and then you finish up with 401. Each class is about an hour long, and we are opened up for Q&A after that as well. Once again, this starts every day at 12 Eastern time. If you cannot make it, these are all on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type in trade ideas, find the playlist, and you'll find TI University in there. All of them are recorded and in there for you to use and to watch. So there you have it, plenty of education and training. And if that's not enough, we provide you with a paper trader. Okay, we call it our simulated. I have to change my topic here because it's actually our simulated trader, where you basically can come in and test your trading strategies, your portfolio management skills. You do not need a broker connection. There's no need to fund an account. Everything is done on our software. It's really cool interface, and more and more people we're seeing it in the back office are firing off a lot of paper trades in there, and it's great to watch. A lot of people are, like I said, they're digging it, and this is going to only get bigger and better. All right, let's look at the agenda for today. We're going to talk about the market recap, how nothing can kind of take this market down as often as it tries. It's just one resilient market. We'll talk about that in just a second. That'll be first up. And then Jamie will take over the screen sharing for probably about 10 minutes and look at some of the Holly alerts that came through today. And then I'm going to talk about, I put together a little top list. It's called Second Chance. And it's looking for stocks that may have moved off the bottom and you missed it. Maybe you didn't catch it. Nice little reversal pattern. But we're going to look at how you use our filters to set it up to where you can possibly catch a pullback on those stocks. Let's see, got a question coming in already. We do have, yes, we do have filters for Bollinger Bands. We do not have those in the charts, Lucas. Okay, but yes, we do. You can scan for Bollinger Bands as a filter. So, yeah, we may talk about that if we have time. I can kind of show you when we get to that our section where we start talking about filters and alerts. Got another question coming in. Yes, Joseph. Yes, we have kind of a help section on our website that has all the filters and strategies in there along with definitions. Yep, Jamie's telling you right there, if you go to the search tab, I'm not sure if you're a subscriber or not, but boy, people took that interactive, let's say more questions coming in. I have a question the same about the Bollinger Band. Okay, Rob, yes, the Bollinger Bands. Let me show you that here in just a minute. This is what the items we're going to talk about. Let me go ahead and back out, and I can talk about that here right now. Let me just show you real quick, guys. Go to New. You can launch anything we have from the New tab. If I go to Alert Window, and I go to Search, and I type in Bollinger Bands, really I just have to start typing, and it will pull everything we have up in Bollinger Bands. You can do daily Bollinger Bands, 5 minute, 15 minutes, 60 minutes. So these are available on filters. You can kind of set your parameter, what you want the min and max to be. And also what's really great, talking about the library, if I go back here and I click on this and I click on help, it's going to pull up the Bollinger Bands help section, okay, on our website. And it will go right to it for you and give you kind of a brief definition of how it's calculated, what it's looking for. So, and we have this for every single alert and filter that we have, okay? So don't worry about any type of library. It's all there for you. All right. Let me get out of this and let's pull this up and let's pull up the market here. And let's talk about the resiliency in this market that we are seeing, okay? Of course, all the talk out there, the coronavirus, got people a little bit on edge. You can see the market today kind of gapped down, traded down to its, almost its fast line, its 10-period moving average, didn't quite touch it, and then got a nice little bounce there. And yeah, I'm not sure why that's not showing a doji when it really should be up here somewhere. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's showing a doji. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, well, anyway, we closed a little bit higher where it's supporting right there. I'm not sure what's going on. Just looked like it clicked down right as I was speaking. But nonetheless, you can see, guys, there's really not a bearish case to be made. I know when you start hearing all these news of people being quarantined in 4 major cities, and it's like it's, you know, I don't know how many, 30-something million people get a little nervous, and rightfully so. But at the same time, price is the only thing it pays, you know, and you have to pay attention to that. I mean, to show you the resiliency we're seeing in our market, just how strong it is. I mean, look at like, I'm just going to pull up China. There's a couple of others I could pull up, but FXI is the kind of the large cap in China. You can see it recently kind of had about a 6% pullback if you looked at the lows today. So we've had a pretty major pullback, in the China markets, but yet, boy, we just keep humming along, if you will. This is an area I'd probably, the lows of the day, if we do take out the lows of the day, I think you got to keep an eye on that, because we would be breaking this momentum line. We haven't closed below this momentum line. You can see in about almost a month and a half. Okay, since this date, going back over here in early December. So it's been really strong. Tried a couple of times to get below it. We popped back up above us. What we like to call the fast line. The momentum line there is a 10-period moving average. Today, like I said, we got down and tickled it. So if you're watching the SPYs, that's kind of the area I would keep an eye on. Is not to let it, if it gets below, a close below this, and that's the key, a close below this fast line, and we could see, a pullback maybe to the 20. And if we get, really heading south, we could, test this level back over here. Let's take a look at the Qs real quick. They are actually stronger, okay? Kind of a better slope there, just keeps kind of grinding higher, and you can see they're kind of gapping up in the after hours because of Intel earnings. Jamie, I totally miss Intel. You just don't look at these big old boys that we used to trade, 20 years ago. But look at this move it had recently. And now, even after this two big move, you can see it's trading up here at 67. I would say somebody, probably some insiders, somebody knew something going into this earnings report, okay, as the markets were kind of slopping around sideways. This had 1, 2, 3 impressive days. And now we have the big gap up in after hours. So yeah, that should be interesting to see. You get, as you see, if I pull up the Qs, you can see they're kind of doing the same thing, having a little, Intel is definitely having a little impact on the Qs there. Jamie, I appreciate it. Looks like you're getting hit with a lot of questions, which is good. Tell me if there's anything that I need to demonstrate or talk about, Jamie, or.
Well, we had a question about back testing, but I was just telling the attendee that, back testing is, there's no 5-10 minute conversation about back testing. I mean, once you get in there, it tends to take up a lot of time. So if you have time at the end, great. If not, I dropped a video in there for 401, which covers back testing. And then we also have the support session tomorrow, which is great for anything TI related. And you got myself and Andy and Steve and Sean all in there. So we'd be happy to go over back testing in real time. I also dropped a link to sign up for that webinar into the chat area as well. So I'd highly recommend that if you have the time to attend.
Yes, thank you, Jamie. Yes, back testing is not something we can just, I could pop one up real quick and just click any A window you can back test and, hit simulate by, and it will go through and back test every single alert that came through that window. So that is kind of how the back testing works. But to go into, it's in depth. I even talk about it in 301 for about 30 minutes. So I probably spend 30 minutes on it. Jamie probably spends 45 minutes on it in 401. So we definitely cover it in those videos. Let's see. Okay, Andrew, I'll hit that in just a minute. Let's see.
Yeah, and by the way, when I cover some of the conservative versus moderate profit spread trades here today in the AI, I already had a snapshot of NEO's performance for 2019 up there. So I'll quickly, kind of gloss over the overall performance in the different risk modes just to satisfy everybody's appetite there.
That's a great idea, Jamie. Let it do it, and let's do it in the AI portion of our conference call or webinar, I should say. All right, you guys have a lot of good questions. Trade of the week, Arnaldo. I'm going to reserve that for You can send an email. Steve, we have a Trade of the Week webinar, okay? And although I get with Steve a lot of times to kind of pick these Trade of the Weeks, I didn't on this last week, so you're probably best sending an email to info@trade-ideas.com if you have any questions on that. Or come to our next Trade of the Week webinar, which are on Tuesday afternoons. All right, so once again, going back to the SPYs, I think you got to watch that level. If things get a little, if you're looking for a little pullback, if we do get a close below that 10-period moving average. Other than that, there's no bearish case, and the price action would have to get pretty ugly for several days to have a bearish case. But nonetheless, it's good to have something in the back of your mind that if it breaks a certain level, because we are overextended. Let's not kid each other. We've had a huge move in the market, but boy, it's just incredible amount of strength in this market, and who knows where the train stops. But Jamie, anything you want to add to the overall market recap? I'll pull up the IWM, see what it's doing real quick, but that thing hasn't played ball in a long time. It's just.
That's true, and it's still got a little bit of time, a little bit of ways to go before it pops its all-time high. And as we spoke about ad nauseum, I mean, that's kind of one of the unknown factors here, because it's very uncharacteristic of a trending market to have the IWM so far away from the other ones. But
Yep.
When we look at the SPY in the long term, the daily, I mean, you got a lot of people out there, preaching that the end is near and the crash is imminent. But we've all seen this movie before. I mean, Andy, we've got the luxury of having a long time in the biz, and it smells and it tastes like the 90s and going up into 2000. And
Yep.
Remember, in 96, when we were all just getting punched in the face learning to trade in the SOES era, Alan Greenspan, irrational exuberance. But guess what? The irrational exuberance lasted for years after those comments were made.
Yeah.
So
another 5 years.
Absolutely. So from our own trading, Andy, are some shorts working out there? Yeah. Are some longs working out there? Is it easy? No. But all we can do is trust the technology, trust what the charts are telling us, place our bets, stick to our stop losses. So far, it ain't so bad. I mean, the gains that are being knocked out from us and various other people I speak to, it's when you ignore the hype, things become a lot more peaceful. Not just in trading, but all over the place right now. So anyway,
exactly.
Those are my comments about the overall condition of the market.
All right, very good, Jamie. And John, yes, short float is basically just a percentage of the shares that are being that are short at the current time. So if you have, that's just for simplicity, let's say you have 10 million shares in the float, okay, and 2 million of those shares are shorted, then you would have a short float of 20%. So it's just a percentage, like I said, of the shares that are short at the time. All right, Jamie, if you want to, and I can show you more about filters here in a minute too, John, when I start to demonstrate some of our filters and alerts. But if you want to take it over, Jamie, at this time, you're welcome to, and we'll just get on the SPY.
Okay, I think you might. Let's see, did I click the right button here? Yes. Okay, you should have eyes on my screen. Okay. All right, before we get going here, I just want to explain to everybody what I've got going on here. What we're seeing right here is the entire trade blotter from all 3 AI modules from today. Of course, they're always the same 3. We've got Holly 1.0, otherwise known as Holly Grail, Holly 2.0, and Neo. All right. And we can see here what the totals were, how these modules finished based on 100 share trade of each trade. And there were 27 trades total. We got 3 here, 14 here, and 10 here. So 24 and 27 trades total. Of course, Holly 1.0 was the more bashful one today, only kicking out 3 trades. 2.0 kicked out 14 signals, and Neo AI kicked out 10. Now, looks like Neo had a pretty rough day today, which is out of the ordinary. But as we've mentioned many times before, not only in my webinar and Andy's, Steve's as well, Neo's been retooled and has been performing pretty darn well as of late, but it's more aggressive. So, we've always said, hey, the winning days are bigger, but don't be surprised if it turns in some big losing days. And of course, today is a perfect example of that. Just didn't do well. Today. Holly 2.0 kicking out almost 3. So if we combine these, we got about 3. So overall, the AI modules combined, we're down about 3 points today. And we can see all the results of every trade right here. Wanted to, not only show the winners, but show the losers. We did have quite a few stop outs, which it's uncanny to see so many stop outs, but that was the nature of the beast today. What can we chalk that up to? Well, we've just been going up, up, up and away. Had a little gap down today, a little selling pressure right on the open. Made it pretty hard to stay in longs and shorts respectively, especially since we got the bounce off the bottom here. But what we like to do is showcase some different techniques on how you can take advantage of certain exit signals that the AI generates, not just the entry signal, because it's all great if we jump into a signal right off the bat and it goes, and sometimes that happens, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the trade to get going. So before we jump in on how we can capitalize on that and extract some of this value here between conservative profit and moderate profit, I would like to just take a opportunity here to show, someone was asking about performance for 2018, 2019. So here we can see Holly Neo, we can see how it did today, but take note of the performance chart. The blue is the S&P, the green is Neo since inception, and kind of a close gap here, but boy, once it broke out, it's been overperforming for quite some time now. Of course, we're getting a little pullback up here, probably one of the worst days that it's had, but overall, handily beating, the signals that Neo's been kicking out have been handily beating the index for quite some time now. But of course, with any algorithmic, statistically based system, there are going to be the bad days, and unfortunately, today was one of those days for Neo. But all in all, still a pretty large gap here. Now, what's going to happen tomorrow? Well, we've all got a front row seat, so we'll see. But technically a losing day for the AI, but that's just part of the game. So there you go with the performance chart. Now, getting on to the topic of how can we, let's just pull up this trade right here, SAFE, which was issued by Holly 2.0. Why did the AI exit the trade? And we'll point out on the chart here, entry signal right here with the blue arrow, 44.46. That number is going to correspond with what you see right here is the entry price. And conservative profit. Why did the AI close out the trade in the conservative profit mode? And just to clarify here, what constitutes conservative profit mode? Well, that's just like me, you, any other trader out there obeying our rule set. If the stop loss gets hit, that's a conservative profit closeout. If the profit target gets hit, that's also another conservative profit mechanism that can get triggered. But we can see here the time to exit expired and the AI closed the trade, which is what it's programmed to do. So got in here, we ebbed and flowed right around the blue line for quite some time. Keep in mind, these are 15-minute candles, so not including the entry candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For 2 hours, it just ebbed and flowed right around the entry line here. And then the AI was like, okay, time's up, closing it out, made $9. Based on what I have set in here, just to show everybody, risking $100 per trade, basically almost flatted the trade, made $9. But if we consult the moderate profit, which was where the stock ended up at the close, right up here, if we would have hung in there, instead of booking a $9 profit, could have plucked out just a little over $200, okay? Because that's where the majority of the move occurred in the last 30 minutes. Now, during this time, once the signal was triggered from the AI, we took a little downturn here, had to sit a little bit of pain, but keep in mind, the red line down here is the stop loss. So got about halfway to the distance, didn't quite do it. So as the AI is entering trades, whether it's paying attention to an exit signal or watching how closely it is to a stop level. For example, once you see it come down here and kind of bottom out and we see a green candle showing up right here, you could have had the opportunity to still enter the trade, get a better price than the AI, taking comfort in the fact that, well, assuming this might be the low, which was for that point in time, as it made its way down to the stop loss area, never got any lower than that. So right here and here, we had actually an opportunity to get a slightly better price than the AI. Or once we saw the trade close out here, we could have easily just said, you know what, I'm going to watch this thing. If it gets frisky out of this little channel, a little sideways action right here, maybe I'll go ahead and take a stab at it. All right, depending on, you know, if you like the volume, if you liked how these candles are setting up. Another thing to point out is the green line here, which is the 10-period simple moving average, which, you know, Steve turned me on to a long time ago, and it's a great indicator of momentum for intraday type activity. So once we see it hugging this 10-period SMA here, plenty of time to get the same price as the AI, opportunity to get a better price over here, and still participate in the majority of the move there. So that's how sometimes we can use an exit signal to actually make an entry, all right, or to bolster our position. So a big difference there between booking $9 on that trade and the potential of $200. Here's another interesting one. AI took a small loss on this position right here, looking very similar in action to what we just saw. Now this one was a profit save, which is basically a different form of a trailing stop here. So the AI makes the entry right here at 410. Quickly we regress to slightly underneath, but look how many, you know, look how much time we had to react to this trade. After the AI gets into it, take a little drawdown, hovering right around the 3.99 level, so you're down about 11 cents during this whole time right here. AI closes the trade out. Andy, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this same song and dance where the AI just decides to pull the plug because, well, it's not headed in the direction that it's supposed to. In this case, up, right? I can't tell you how many times in the 20 some odd years I've been sitting here pushing buttons, how many times have you gotten bored and just been like, yeah, it's not working, I'm going to close it, and then only to see the thing turn and burn
Exactly.
in the direction. So once again, this is a great example here of seeing the AI pull the plug early, but look, not coming anywhere close to the stop level, right? Signal, hovering it right under the signal for a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a good hour and 45 minutes before it breaks. So once again, this statistical opportunity is good for the day. Sometimes they go right off the bat, sometimes they don't. In this market condition, it's no big surprise to see a lot of them consolidate sideways before they do what they're supposed to. So whether you're in this one or whether you could have added to it once you saw this little consolidation starting, or whether you just waited and said, you know what, I'll wait to the high of the day, and if it breaks out, which finally it did right here, keep in mind, see that little bottoming wick right there, hugging right on the 10-period SMA? That's a signal of strength. Tried to take it down, snap right back up to that 10-period. In the next 15-minute bar, what do we have? We had a break above, an opening range break, technically. Let's see. Look at the volume on this thing. So if you've been tracking this thing and started nibbling right here, once this event right here happened, which I like to call an auxiliary event, on top of the statistical weight that the AI brings us, this is a great time to add to a position. Adding to a winning position is one of the harder things to figure out, especially when you're new. But the AI, with some of these signals and these early exits, can be a great indicator, because you're like, okay, it had statistical probability here, it's going sideways. We finished at 8 on the relative volume scale today, so the volume was banging in this thing all day. And then once we see the strength here on the 10-period coupled with the secondary pattern emerging, a great time to either enter the position, add to your existing position, and you get the majority of the move today going into the close in the last 45 minutes. seemed to be the theme today. A lot of activity in the last 30, 45 minutes as the market recouped and actually finished, slightly 0.1% up, considering where we were earlier in the day. Quite a few of these today. CMC is another great example. Took a $6 loss if you just hung in there. 90 bucks headed into the close. Kind of the same song and dance. This one got a little bit more harrowing, right? Came close to a stop out, 21.41. So it came within 4 cents of getting a stop out. But I got to tell you, Andy, when you see these doji type candles and these big wicks right above a stop loss area, that's also a great opportunity to get a better price in the AI. Can't say that they always work, but you know what I'm talking about right here, because the sellers took control. They couldn't quite hold it down. Buyers took it back up. So many times, whether it's a holly trade or whether we're looking at this type of wick on a daily to give us a little confidence, just in the intraday time frame here, once we see this type of wick put in, I think Steve made an entry like this on Tyson the other day. Remember that entry? And it was just off to the races. So we see the wick, gives us confidence, get a much better price than the AI, 21.51 as opposed to 21.62, save about 10 cents. We're patient, and then the same type of action plays out in CMC right here. Go sideways for a little bit, thing tightens up. Later on in the day, we break this opening range break here and get a large portion of the move heading into the close here. So the point I'm trying to make here with extracting some conservative profit versus moderate profit spread, it's there every day. It's something that, is not obvious until we talk about it in this capacity. So just keep in mind, sometimes the trades go right off the bat, but a lot of the times there's a lot of alpha hiding as we wait for the trade to do what it's supposed to and exhibit these types of patterns. So as you follow the AI, obviously you're going to pay attention to the fresh signals, but every time you see a little flash and you see the AI closing a trade and see reduced risk or profit save, try to look at it from these perspectives. Did we just have an interesting candle? Did it get close to the stop loss? Is there an auxiliary pattern that might unfold on top of the stock later on in the day as it plays out? And the more time you spend with the AI, the more proficient you'll get at identifying these opportunities. Tcon just happened to be a 6 point, almost a 7% winner going into the close, which is not too shabby here. I'm just checking it out, seeing if I missed any of the obvious ones, but I think, a couple of smaller ones down here. This one just happened to be one of the shorts today, and not quite a 3 times ratio. If we were at 75, we'd almost have a 3-banger there. But another good example of, we got the short right here and had a little bit more profit potential early on. As the day progressed, took a little bit of a haircut on that, but by the end of the day, finished right back down here. But we can see right here the AI closed it out, which, at this point in the day, it was kind of hit or miss, is it going to head down lower? There's not a whole lot of room left in the day on this one. So, not the most obvious cover here with the profit save being initiated. But having said that, we still finished lower, and it was a pretty good multiple between 25 and almost 75 bucks there. Anything that I missed that I need to cover on the AI, Andy, about conservative profit, moderate profit? Any other questions about the AI in general?
I think you got it. What questions that did come through? Yeah, I don't think it's anything you have to cover. I ordered one. Peter just asked about where you see the AI, the sell on the chart.
But let's just go back to safe. This highlighted area right here, okay? Now the sell right here is holding until the close, okay? But the shaded area is the time that the AI spent in the trade in conservative profit mode, okay? So you can see when the highlighted area ends, this candle here is where the time to exit occurred. So the shaded area is always going to coincide with the risk, or excuse me, conservative profit right here and here. That's the one for Tcon right there. And Joseph was asking, how do you decide which trades to take from the AI? Well, everybody's different, all right? What I just laid out to you as far as the way that I perceive the information here, sometimes the AI wins, sometimes it loses. You know, if you're a purist, well, then the only way to, you know, you'd have to be in all of the trades, right? Each and every day. Of course, a lot of people aren't comfortable being in all the trades. A lot of people don't have the account size to be in all the trades. And that's the purest way to play it, is you let the statistical probability play out and let these, what we like to refer to as casino odds, play out, and hopefully over time you come out ahead. You know, that's what the chart indicated there when I showed it at the beginning of the session. But as far as picking which trades on a day-to-day basis, that's all going to depend on what's unfolding, you know, on the charts, right? I like to equate the AI just to another trader, right? But a trader that trades with statistical perfection. And we all know that we can trade with statistical perfection, but that by no means ensures that we're going to win each and every day. It's just that statistical probability is, and math are the closest things we have to certainty, and we have to couple that with the charts, right? So the way I like to do it is I know that every play coming from the AI, I've got a statistical advantage. Sometimes it's 55%, sometimes it's 65 or 70%. But if I find a statistically weighted entry and then I also like what's going on with the chart, well, that gives me more confidence from a human perspective. In any case, I hope that makes sense, and I don't want to eat up all the time here, Andy, so I'm going to kick it on back to you.
Okay. Okay. And I'll demonstrate real quickly, guys, because I do have some more content to get through here. But John was asking, how do you, let's see, I think he said they're moving so fast I can't even see them. But anyway, he asked about how do you create moving averages on the chart. You just right click and you go to indicators, and then you, if you want to do an SMA, you just put your, you know, your periods that you want to follow in here, click OK, and that will generate these lines for you. And yes, you can control your limit sales. This is the way the Brokerage Plus will look when you have Holly up. I believe this was Andrew asking this. And if you'll be able to set up your trading instructions, like your long trading instructions. And you can see right here, the order type is limit. My limit offset, which a lot of people call a delta, is 11 cents. Okay, if you only wanted to do 2 cents, you could put 2 cents in there. So there's plenty of ways to create your own trading instructions as far as where, you know, how far you want to go out to, how aggressive you want to be on buying. A lot of questions today. That's not a bad thing, but not if I'm going to get to my content. Yes, you can eventually, Joseph, get to where if you want the AI to trade automatically, you can do that. I think it works best if somebody, instead of you know, coming in here and wanting to turn the AI on and just walk away, I don't think that's the right idea, because I think it's best for letting the AI find you the opportunity and then you manage them from there. In other words, like a gray box system. Gray box meaning use automation to find you the entries, but you manage the trades. That's the way it works best, I believe. All right. Not sure what Peter doesn't get. Let's see.
Was he asking about?
Oh, the AI sell? You still don't get where the AI sell is?
And you can also refer to the entry price and exit price. But the arrows are always going to be there for the buy or the initial buy or short sell.
Right.
And then the shaded area is going to coincide with the time spent and conservative profit. Yeah.
So, yep. So Peter, do you see in this safe? Okay, this was the buy right there. Okay, it shows you where the buy is. All right. And then what happens is on the sell, we have what's called conservative. Holly gets out for a certain reason. Okay. Like on safe, it was a timed exit. It's maximized for a timed exit. So the timed exit happened right here where this shade turned from darker shade to a lighter shade. Right at that intersection is the timed exit. But the moderate profit will continue to show the profit all the way to the close. All right, I better move on with my rest of my content here. Jamie, just let me know if somebody
go ahead.
needs to answer a
I'll knock
question.
these questions
Yeah.
out. Just go ahead.
Yeah, we got a big crowd in here, guys. And don't forget, we will have our if any of you guys can make it, our support Friday, every Friday at 11. I just showed you that, 11 Eastern time. You guys, that's a great place to come for all your Q&A. Even though we do encourage interaction in here, but we do have some content to show you, and not only that, it'll answer probably a lot of your questions. All right, so I created an alert the other day. It was called revenue growth fishing, where we caught some really good ones out of it, and it's looking for stocks basically that have been beaten up over a certain time frame, and then showing signs of turning around. In other words, a potential reversal pattern. And so I got to thinking about that. I said, well, you know, even if you miss that reversal, in other words, because they can be kind of risky entries, because a stock can take sometimes 2 months to bottom it out. So I said, well, let's create something to where if a stock moves out of a range, okay, in a kind of a lower part, whether it be a 52-week low or a 6-month low, if it moves out of a range, okay, and has some good upward momentum, how can we set up a top list to where maybe we can catch these on a pullback? And these are very powerful filters, and I've talked about these so many times because I use so many of them, and I like to tell people, really, if you can imagine a chart in your head, you can create it using these 2 filters, and I'm going to show you here. One of them is called, let's go to the configuration of my top list. Okay, a top list does not have any alert in it. Okay, it's just a filters. Okay, and any stock that satisfy these filters are going to appear in that top list. Think of filters as parameters. Okay, they're just a way to set up a group of parameters that must be met for a stock to appear in the top list. Okay, so basically this is just, I have a couple of just standard, price needs to be above $3. The average daily volume over the last 10 days has to be 500,000 shares a day, 500,000. And then, okay, what I don't want to, I just started thinking in my head, okay, what do I want to see to assure that a stock has had a pretty good move? In other words, has moved a certain amount to where we can benefit from catching a kind of a nice pullback. Well, I thought of change in 20 days. So in this example, I'm just using 5%. Okay, so remember, this is a filter. Okay, any stock that comes through here, it has to be up at least 5% over the last 20 trading days. Okay, next thing I wanted to see is to assure that the stock is pulling back, is what I used is position in 5-day range. I used a max of 60, okay? And I want you to think about it like this, okay? All ranges have a range of 0% being the low end of the range and 100% being the high end of the range. So if a stock, you know, let's say traded between, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good way to present this to show 60%. Let's say it traded between $10 and $20 over the last 5 days, okay? And I got a max here of 60%, okay? The stock could have not, that's a range from basically a $10 range. So to be a max of 60, the stock would have to pull back all the way to $16, okay? We have show me buttons you can click on, and the price is no more than 60% above the low end of this range. Okay, so we know the stock is pulling back on the 5-day time frame. I could make this lower if I wanted to see a steeper pullback. I could put this at 25 if I wanted to. But I just wanted to get stuff that I can kind of scan and look at my eye and maybe set price alerts to where, you know, I can benefit from the price action going forward. Another thing I wanted to see was position in a 3-month range. Okay, I'm looking for stocks that have kind of pulled back, but yet in the last 3 months, you know, they just have to be in the lower 70%. Okay, so I'm trying to catch stocks that are somewhat kind of not in other words, not are exploding to all-time highs and then pulling back, okay? I'm trying to get them in the lower part of their range. Another one I used was right here in position in year range, okay? The max is 50, okay? Once again, I'm trying to show stocks that are kind of in the lower part of their daily chart, but they've had nice moves over the last 20 days. It has to be up at least 5%. And really, since we're looking for a pullback, okay, in the 5-day range, at one time, these things could have been up 10%. Okay, so once again, I'm using the position in range and the change, okay, the change in 20 days as my basic filters for just constructing something that assures me that a stock has had a move and now is pulling back. And let's just take a look at some of the stocks that are coming through here. And not only that, what we're going to do is, while I'm doing this, we are going to mark these up, and then I'm going to share with you guys some price alerts. So those who have our software will be able to get these price alerts when I share them. All right, let's just go down the thing here. Okay, and what this is a top list, and what happens is it freezes at the market close because I have it set for time frame live during market hours. Okay, when I set it at live during market hours, once the bell rings, all these stocks will freeze in here. Great for studying. All right, index, I know what this thing looks like. This is one of those coronavirus moves. This one, yeah, I'm not gonna mark that one up because that's already had a huge move, and it probably is gonna take some more time. And not only that, that's gonna be very sensitive to any news out there. Take a look and see if stocks are doing what they thought. Okay, so there's one, had a move. It's pulling back. I'm looking for something a little more, maybe a little more steeper than that. TLRY, now that's looking good. This is a cannabis stock, but it's kind of sloppy right now with a lot of wicks. Now this is one I'd probably want to set alert down here, and maybe if it tagged this 10-period moving average, but still not the best looking chart right there. I don't like all this back and forth action with all the wicks. PLT, that one was a beautiful one. Now this one would have been on there yesterday. I actually checked. Now this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. This right here had a nice move, and look at this 3-day pullback, and then put in a little hammer there almost. And then today, what happened? Boom! It just shot right through that high of yesterday. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. I feel like we kind of missed it already. I'm not going to mark this one up, but I do have a few good ones here. One of them I think is one to watch is pins. This is one that I was recently in off of that revenue growth fishing I talked to you about. I bought it here around this level a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm already out of this, looking possibly to get back in. I was hoping I was gonna get a move down here this fast. Still may get it, but this is one I'm gonna mark up right here at the high of these 3 bars in case we get a move. And I'll just set it there. I'm not gonna be precise on these. There we go, that's close enough. And let's look. Now Overstock's a little bit different. This is one I'd rather keep that trend. See that nice little trend it has? Now it's broken its fast line. Not really interested in that. You know, that's not the kind of price action I want to see. But this NVTA, great example. Okay, look at the move it's had from this level to here. Put in a nice little hammer there today. And what we'll do is just go to the high of today, and we're going to mark this up. If it takes out that high, that's something, we'll have a bar reversal after 4 down days. Okay, that's something we can work with. YY is another one. Okay, China stock probably got hit with all the coronavirus news over in China, like a lot of them have. Kind of almost a hammer today. If it breaks above this level, I'm going to be interested in that. That's something I can profit from, I think. All right. Here's one of the canvas stocks that I could probably like better. It's kind of, you know, this is one that pulled back and put in, you know, a little inside bar right there. If it takes out today's high, that is one that I would liked, because you can see it closed right above that fast line, that 10-period moving average. That's something that I think could possibly work there. And I think one more is 8. 8 looks interesting to me. Classic pullback to the fast line there. You had the move, pullback, and we're just going to use the close, the high of today as well, right at this 2120 level. All right, so I just created, I think, about five price alerts, and now I'm going to share them. And what I'll do is I'll just highlight these and share 5 price alerts. Copy all. And I'm going to drop them into the chat window. And once again, guys, if you're in here, what I'm able to do is these people will be able to grab this link that I'm sharing, and then they'll have these price alerts on their price alerts as well. And there you go. They should be in there. Yep. All right, Jamie, I'm going to share this in case somebody wants this second chance. I already have it in here, I think. And guys, I kind of put this together, not so much to show you an incredible top list, but the way I wanted to show you guys, you can go in there and look at some of these ideas and maybe create your own. I use a lot of these. I created a nice little bull flag alert with this, but let me go ahead and share this one. Second chance. All right, that's in there. So you guys also have access to this window that I just talked about. All right, Jamie, I know they've been flying through. Anything we need to demonstrate or show them, or?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much caught up.
Good job.
We did have a question. Damien was asking what the different colors were on that top list that you were going. You know, some are red, some are green.
Yep. That is just the color coordination I have set up. If I go to configure and go, no, it's not there. It's colors. What am I doing? Properties, select colors. And Jamie will know more about this than I do, but I got mine set for change from the close. All right, and you can see this is a color scheme that I created. Okay, so what it's doing, it just kind of creates a scheme. So if I go by change from the close, you're going to watch this. Okay, you're going to see Invax is up 8%. See how that's darker green, and then see how lighter it gets as you decrease and up from the close, and then when you turn negative, it starts turning into a light red and gets darker red as it goes down. So it's just a way to color scheme things if you're looking at them. So in other words, if I want to sort by change in 20 days, I can still look through here real quick and see which stocks are up on the day, which ones are down on the day. So yeah, that's all that is.
And Brett's question, I don't really understand. Price alert settings, can you add a reset to change all stocks in the alerts, long and short? Example, 3 cents above for long and the same for short. I just don't know what that means, Andy.
Well, you have the ability anytime you set a price alert, if you want to, let's just take this 8 for example. Let's say I set a price alert right here on a pullback. Let's say I think it's going to shake out some more, and I come in here and I put a price alert. It's going to default because I set it lower to short, but I can always change it to long, and vice versa. I can always put one above and change it to short. So it will calculate as a short, but I'm not sure. That's the only thing I can think of that he may be talking about. You can't, once they're open and set, you can't change them on the fly, I don't think. Oh, it needs a master reset. Yeah, I don't. Other than deleting, you can easily delete all your, Brett. But I'm not sure what you mean by master reset. You can always, put that definition into an email and email it to us. What you're talking about there, Brett. I'm just not sure if we understand what you mean by master reset. Yeah, send it to info@trade-ideas.com. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you'll have. I see what you're saying. You like to trade a certain group of stocks, and you're constantly. Well, you can do this, Brett. You can always, once it triggers. Okay, like if this triggers and turns green, I can always take it and move it higher, move it where I want to, and it'll turn back blue again. It'll reset it for you. You can do that just by grabbing the chart and moving it. That will reset it for you. Yeah, I don't know anything that, because I do that all the time too. Alert will go off and I'll miss it and I'll say, darn. So I'll come back and set for a pullback. I just move it and it resets, and that works fine for me. But I know what you're saying. You'd like to reset them at the same price, I guess, that you had them. You can try. I mean, other than just moving it and putting it right back down, that should work. Yeah. Okay. Yep. You can definitely make a feature request, Brett, and we'll take a look at it. Where you can just hit a button and it'll reset them all. Yep. You're welcome. All right. Wow. A lot of great questions today, man. Well, I encouraged interaction and I got it, didn't I, Jamie?
They're a rowdy
your alert
crew.
windows, and I'm not. Yeah.
And to Darren's question there, Darren, I was just saying that we've got a ton of educational content that's free, the 9 webinars per week, and then we've got a ton of educational videos about the product on our YouTube channel, right? Then people sometimes still want more. They want advanced training. So if people need advanced training and they want to book a $99 1-hour session with one of the trainers here, that's also an option.
Mm-hmm. And Daphne, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm seeing your alert window, but I'm not getting alerts like this on my alert windows. Are these alert windows that you built? Daphne, here, if you want to do this, send an alert that you have built to info@trade. I'm going to put the email in there so you can send it. And tell me what you're trying to build, and then I'll take a look at that alert window and see what you're doing that's wrong. That's probably the best way. Tell me what you're trying to build, and then put your cloud link in the email. Okay, in other words, share your cloud link with me, and I'll take a look at it and see if I can help you out. That's probably the best thing to do. But guys, we are at the top of the hour. There are some great questions. I am encouraged by all the great questions. And see, Scott. Well, Scott, I tell you what, I don't know if you're subscribed now, but we do have a test drive coming in, and we're going to be having webinars every day for an hour where you can come in and ask Q&A. We do scan for penny stocks, and we'll show you how to do that. Okay, good. He says he's locked in on the test drive. Great. Come to our webinars. You'll get an email about the webinars. Be sure you sign up for them, and we'll help you out with that. Brett, you can just send it to info. We'll look at the question and we'll direct that to the right person. Yeah, if it's a feature request, it goes into a group of feature requests, and our developers will take a look at it, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for all the great questions. I'm going to bring Scott in. He's going to walk us out, and you guys hang on. He'll tell you more about the test drive coming up, and also a code that you, if you want to use today to join.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. We've got a test drive coming up starting February 3rd. Just like the last one we did, it's 2 weeks. We just started doing that in November, and we found that people were really receptive to the 2-week test drive more than the 1-week ones we used to do. So you can join it for the same price we used to charge for the 1-week test drives, $8.99. Just go to trade-ideas.com/test drive. It's under $9. That pays for all your real-time data and extra support that we give out during the test drive. It's fully featured premium trade ideas for 2 weeks. A good way for you to try it out, see if that's what you want. If you're on standard trade ideas, give that a shot. You can see if you like the features. If you like access to the AI and all the other goodies that premium includes, try it out. So that starts February 3rd. And we're also going to have, on the second week of that test drive, we have a price alerts contest where you can win a full year of trade ideas and a Brokerage Plus license. All right. There's also a series of ebooks we've had out for a little while, but everyone should grab them. Just go to trade-ideas.com/setup. Both Andy and Jamie contributed chapters to the books. Each book's got a couple chapters with cloud links. So after you read about the concepts, you can import those elements into your layouts. So it's really helpful. We got a podcast that we intermittently haven't started up yet this season. We haven't released one since the break, but I've got one that's got a good interview that I'll release tomorrow if Dan and Jamie haven't gotten around to coordinating. So you can search for Trade Ideas Podcast and hear that interview tomorrow. If we're going to not have another fresh one, it's going to be a great interview with our referral partner manager and our own Sean McLaughlin. And if there's another podcast released tomorrow, then we'll just put that one out next week. We've got a promo code, Simulate, in honor of our trading simulation that we do now. The account simulation, it's real time. That saves you 15% off your first month or year of trade ideas. You can also use this to upgrade if you're on the standard plan and want to upgrade. Otherwise, keep in mind you can try that test drive out starting February 3rd for $9. And it's a great way to get introduced to the premium features without risking a whole month. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. Follow Steve Gomez at Today Trader. We also have at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro is the Facebook page to follow for information. If you have any questions, though, email us, info@trade-ideas.com. That goes into our help desk software and gets routed to the appropriate team member to get you a quick answer. Thanks, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jamie. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody. A lot of questions today. Be sure to come to that support Friday tomorrow at 11 Eastern to answer more questions for you.
Absolutely. That's the place to be.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Keep an eye out for the recording email tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.